All right, are we live? Yes, we are. Tonight's show is all about this thing called variance. And what is variance anyway? And where do we get variance from? And how do you know when you're in variance and when you're not in variance? And can you win with variance or can you lose with variance? We're going to talk about it all right now.
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor. Let's get rolling.
Whoa, welcome back, Jim, to another exciting episode.
Now, we got to get some stuff out of the way because you left some pretty big enchiladas out there. When it reminds me of the old Rocky and Bullwinkle. When we last left our hero, Jeremy's
I don't
daughter
remember.
was
You're
about
gonna have
to. Yeah.
Oh,
Jeremy's
okay,
daughter
yeah.
was going to be married in Vegas, and you had the whole family coming into town. Your brother was getting a suite, and blah, 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 blah. You got to fill us in on that before we get to this variance stuff. But what happened?
The wedding happened. I mean, none of the parties backed out. So,
Okay,
I mean,
that's a good start. Good start.
Yeah, it was a great time. Kind of low stress because it was it's a smaller wedding. She wanted it to be Vegas, but not Vegas cheesy. But I mean, she got married in like a chapel.
Okay.
One of those little chapels. We didn't hire Elvis, and it was small. And then the reception was just we rented out Red Rock Lanes, where I think many people know the Red Rock Casino.
Okay.
Here in Vegas, maybe. And so we, catered in and had food there, and that was the after party. So that was, fun and easy, and
Very good.
I think a good time had by all.
All right. Very good. And did you walk her down the aisle?
Yeah, actually, I mean, there was no plans or anything, but it was like last seconds. They're like, "Do you want to walk her down the aisle?" I'm like, I mean, if you're talking about the 10 feet across this room, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, and then the officiant asked, "Hey, do you give this bride away?" And or who does? I think I flubbed that one up. I'm like, I do, her father or something. I don't know. I the pressure of the moment got to me a little bit, but other than that, I think it went off without a hitch.
And did you have some bridesmaids and some groups?
No, nothing like that.
No. So it was just very small wedding.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And they had a blast, I'm assuming, everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
And how many people crashed at your place?
Various times. There were various people. I mean, 10, I don't know, quite a few.
Wow.
Yeah, we had people on beds, couches, kind of everywhere. So,
okay.
But yeah, so I forgot that, we didn't do an episode of the podcast last week because I was a little busy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's kind of the excuse. The wedding was actually Thursday, but there was still family in town. There's a lot of stuff going on, so.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, we took the week off.
Yeah.
How about you? Anything such as a wedding or anything going?
No weddings or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've been doing some announcing at some of the high school games that I do. The field hockey is the one I really enjoy, and been doing that one. And I still do the box. I'm the box man on the chain gang, so I've been doing that. And,
is that the one who changes the numbers?
Yes, that is the box man. Dial-a-down is the thing that they're called. But yeah, I've been doing that, and school's going great, and ready to roll. So it's fun and all. But yeah, ready to roll into our topic today. What do you think?
Yeah, you brought it up to me and came with this idea, and I'm like, well, that's a fantastic idea. And you actually put in the legwork, and I know you've done quite a bit of research on it.
I've been doing a lot of research.
You figured out, you've solved the problem, though, right? I mean, because when we talk about this, we talk about why do you win at the game of craps, or why do you lose at the game of craps?
Mm-hmm.
And this topic is a very big part of it. So,
and it's on a lot of people we know and respect, their YouTube channels. In fact, I watched dozens of videos the last week and walking the dog and picking up aluminum cans and doing all kinds of stuff on my way to and from work even. And you mentioned it in some of your videos. One of the videos that I can't remember which one it was, but even you mentioned, oh, well, we as crap players, we have to win in the chaos. We have to win in the chaos. Okay. And then David from Casino Quest, he mentions chaos and opportunity. And then John says, hey, we got to win in the variance. That's
John at ProCraps.
That's out there. John with ProCraps, which is changing to John of Casino something or other. He's moving.
Stay tuned for
TV.
that.
Stay tuned. Yeah, guys, it's coming. But, but anyway, hey, and I'm seeing a bunch of people up there, and I'm not going to call out any names between Duracell and Patty and Red, White, and Blue and MJ and all these guys. But don't forget, we'll get to any questions and all at the Monster Roll when we get to that point in time, not unless you got a good comment that is.
Well, I do see Patty saying that he apparently is in Vegas. And yes, I live here, now. Patty. So direct message me, please. I don't know if I would love to meet up with you if you can. So if you're going to come all the way across the world, I want to get down there and see you.
Yeah, you need to show some props on that. Get on out there and see him. Take some pictures, throw it up on the chat there. So yeah, definitely one of our historical club members and international club members too. But yeah, definitely do that. But,
so how do you want to start this off? I mean, do you want to just dash everyone's hopes right away? Do you want to give some people some hope? Do you want to talk about definitions?
Let's do the boring crap first and talk about definitions.
Okay, and then we'll get to the arguing part.
Because there are going to be some people who are going to argue with what I have to say tonight. I just want to tell everybody, be prepared. The professor's coming in hot.
Bring your best arguments.
Bring it on. Bring it on. So what is variance? What are we talking about? Chaos, variance? What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know your written definition, so I'm just going to make one up on the fly, and we'll see how close I am.
Okay.
But I think you have I sound dumb when I'm trying to think this through, but you have what should happen, or like expected outcome, expected results.
There you go.
And what actually happens, which could vary. So I call that the variance, because the results can vary, short term at least. And then we always hear the term, well, the longer you play, the more the casino is likely to win, or blah, blah, blah. And that's just because in the short term, anything can happen, but the longer things are in play, the more things conform to their mathematical probability or outcome or whatever. So I guess I would kind of define it as it's the variation from the expected outcome.
Excellent. That's a really good job. For a guy who's getting it on the fly, you're on point. So excellent job on that. So yeah, it's a deviation from what should be normally expected. Okay. And in our little game of dice, we got how many combinations?
36. 36 ways that the two dice. Actually, I have a little chart here. We'll bring that up. Maybe that'll kind of help people.
Beautiful. So we got the chart up there. So you got 36 combinations, 36 different combinations for two 6-sided die.
Right.
No matter how you throw them, those are the combinations. You can't get a 1. You can't get a 13. You got to have something between a 2 and a 12. Correct?
Correct. And then, and some people do get confused with, wait a second, how come the 4-3 and the 3-4 are separate? And it is a little difficult for some people to comprehend, but if you do consider, or if the best way I can kind of tell people is grab, like I have in my chart, 2 different colored dice.
Yes.
So if you throw one and it lands on let's say, let me go at the very top here, the red 3.
Yes. Okay.
That's the start of a combo. So the second dice could obviously be anything, but if it lands on the black 4, you've now created a combination of 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, if you were to roll the dice and just at the very next one, you roll a red 4, well, the next dice could be anything. So this is a completely new combination, and it happens to land on a black 3. Well, it is now, they both are the same, 4-3. They're both equal 7, but there are 2 different ways to roll that 7. So Yeah, it's a little complicated for new people. They're like, wait a second, how come that's two different combinations? And for instance, like the 1-1 is one combination. Well, again, if I go back to my example, if I roll a red 1,
right,
and then the black, there's no way you can roll something else. It can't be a different combination. If it rolls a 1, it's gonna always be 2. So whichever one you rolled first, it doesn't matter because there's just one way to roll it. So I don't know. There's a little side note there, but if that helps anybody, I don't.
So we got
probably did a bad job of explaining that.
No. I think you did great. So there's 36 combinations. The most common number is what, Jeremy?
The 7. That's what the game is all focused around. That's 7.
It revolves around the 7. And how many different combinations are there for that?
Actually, I don't have the numbers written on this chart, but in the middle, it is the most common at 6 different ways to roll that 7.
That's right. And then it's a pyramid or a triangle, whatever you want to call it. Then the 6 and the 8 are the next two most popular ones.
Yep.
And there are 5 ways to roll 6 and 5 ways to roll 8, and go dropping down to the 5 and the 9, 4 ways each. And then the 4 and the 10 is 3 ways, 2 ways for the 3 and the 11, and then 1 way each for the 12 and the 1.
Right, and so that's how
juices too.
That's how all the math of the game is calculated, is based off of this chart.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about the true odds, if you're a pastime player and you make odds, if you have a 6,
yes,
for every $5 you bet, you get paid $6. Well, why is that? It's because you're the 5 to 6 underdog. If you look on the chart, there's 6 ways to roll a 7. There's 5 ways to roll the 6. So, 5 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. You bet 5, you win 6. That's how, or a lot of, a 4. If we look at the 4, there's 3 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. 6 to 3, or we could reduce that down to 2 to 1. That's why you get paid 2 to 1 on that bet, is because
on the odds, yes,
because you're a 2 to 1 underdog. And then like place bets and other bets, they kind of carve out, instead of being, it should pay 10 to 5, right? Because I just said that's the true odds, right? Old 10 to 5, 6 to 3, whatever, 2 to 1. But instead, they shave off a little bit. Instead of being 10 to 5, they pay you 9 to 5. So they carve out a little piece for themselves.
A little bit of juice.
But the true odds would be 10 to 5.
Okay.
For that. But so all the math, all the bets
revolves
are based off of this mathematical chart.
Excellent.
Which is, we call a probability chart. This is what should or most likely happens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In any 36 rolls, if it was perfect, it would look like this chart.
Have you ever rolled the dice 36 times and had a nice little pyramid like that?
Well, I have done a few videos where I've done like 360 rolls to kind of see. And there's a little up and down, but once you start rolling, if you roll 36, there's a lot of times it doesn't look like this chart that much. Because you could very easily roll 36 rolls and not see 1 7 at all. Mm-hmm. And so the chart would be completely messed up. But if you roll 360 rolls or 3,000 rolls or 30,000 rolls, the more and more you roll,
close to that, right?
Very, very close. Even at 300 rolls, it almost always comes up looking like this.
Okay, so that's what it should look like.
Yeah.
What are these guys talking about when we're talking about winning in the variance? We're talking about something that's not. It's something out of the ordinary. That's something that's not looking like that. Correct?
Right. Yeah. So we defined it as it's something that deviated from this. This is what should happen.
Yes.
Not what happens necessarily.
Yep. And that's a normal distribution. Thank you, Proto Man 272. Excellent way of saying it. It is a normal distribution. So what we're looking for is the variant, which is, I remember from my statistics classes, you had like the hockey put or hockey stick analogy. You want something that's shifted, that's not a normal distribution, correct?
Yeah, right. If you're betting on the numbers, so we know that, the game, once the puck is on and you have bets up, the game ends and you lose your bets at the 7 rolls.
Right.
So if we eliminated these 7s, we would just win.
Okay.
Right? So that would be deviating from it. So, okay, so that's unrealistic that we're going to eliminate all the 7s, but maybe some are eliminated. Maybe 3 of them are missing, and we have an extra 3 rolls of the 9. It wouldn't be, the pyramid somewhat looks alike, but the 7's a little shorter and the 9's a little taller because there's a few more rolls.
Okay.
So if we could see that and somehow, bet on the 9 more, avoid the 7, we could take advantage of that and win.
Okay.
Because if the dice roll like this, and the casino takes out a little portion, we couldn't win as players.
Right.
So we need to take advantage of when the chart doesn't look like this normal distribution in order to win.
Okay. So I think we can get rid of the chart.
Okay.
So that's what we need to take advantage when the dice aren't rolling like that chart, which to me is kind of always, or a lot of the time, it's not looking like that chart.
Absolutely. So, and that's why I say, because people kind of criticize me and say, hey, you say you can win at craps and stuff. And, I kind of messed up my headphone here. And I say, well, absolutely you can win at craps in the short term, because it doesn't look like that chart. If you go play for the next hour, track the rolls. There's a lot of people that track the rolls. Yeah. They're going to find it may look close, but it's almost never going to look exactly like that. Somewhere there's going to be some deviation. And I also joke a lot of times, say, hey, if I could look backwards, I could tell you what you should have bet on, right?
Yes.
Because it's not going to look exactly like that. So that's the trick, and that's what everyone's after, is like the magic formula to know when to bet, or maybe, there's a whole segment of our community who tries to throw the dice in a way that they can avoid the 7 or bring the 7 more or whatever, right? Roll different numbers. Yes, they're doing the same thing. They're trying to change the normal distribution.
Okay. So we got that either through intention trying to change it, or we perceive that there is a change in the distribution, or it's not looking like the standard deviation. So how do we make money off that, or how do players make money off that? What are you telling people, or what does everybody tell people when you see something out of the ordinary?
I mean, the layman's term, they say hot shooter, right? Or cold shooter.
Right.
I hear that a lot, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. So.
But if you're asking me how to make money, I wish I knew, Jim.
You don't know.
I'm not a professional craps player
I'm
right
not
yet.
Either. Yeah. And I never
So there's people that will sell you classes and tell you. So maybe they have the secret sauce, but
no, seriously, people who aren't necessarily dice influencers, dice controllers, or selling classes. I've watched channels and videos this week, and they all say, hey, we have to make our money during the variance. So what does that mean? Are they talking about what, betting, or?
Usually, probably. So, I mean, that's how I do take advantage of it. So kind of my theory on on how I play has evolved over the years, but mainly now, whatever I put on the table, I want to get back quickly, because I know according to the normal distribution, that 7 is coming sooner than later. It should happen every 6 rolls.
Okay.
I've explained the math many times. If you include the pass line part of the game, right, the come out roll, sometimes there's a couple extra rolls. So if you factor all that in, the average roll lasts 8.5.
Okay. 8.5.
So if it's 8.5 and you know the normal distribution, you've got to get in and get out of the game. You can't expect 20 rolls when the average is 8.5. If your strategy relies on 20 rolls every time, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay. So your recommendation is?
My recommendation is try to recoup your money. It's got to be quicker than 8.5 rolls. Mm-hmm. And after that, if you're in a position where you've recouped your money, then you can bet aggressively and try. We say take advantage of a variance, but really we're just hoping that the variance continues. And that's how I would take advantage of it is, hey, I've got my money back playing within the normal distribution of the game, but now I can be aggressive and hope that, the 7 doesn't come in 6 rolls. Maybe it goes away for 12 rolls, maybe 20 rolls. But that's what I'm trying to avoid.
So I think you're saying a lot of the same stuff that some of the other people are calling opportunity, or strategy, or how you bet. And what they're saying is either get your money back and then gamble or be aggressive with the house money, or to get something back quickly, and then maybe the variance continues for another roll or two, and you get an extra couple 6s or 8s in there, whatever the play is. So I agree with you on that.
And some people don't necessarily do it like I do it. Some people are like, hey, I'll do 110 inside, for instance. I'm willing to lose it every time because they'll immediately start pressing. This is their kind of thought process is, yes, I understand that the short rolls are going to make me lose 110. But the one time that I can get that 20 roll or 30 roll and have been pressing up from the very get-go, I will more than make up for all those losses where, the chart stuck to a more normal distribution. So that's another way that people do it. But it's the same concept. They're waiting for that variance in the chart. Yeah.
And how do you when do you identify variance? I mean, is there a number, or how do you do it?
It's certainly easy to know when you look backwards. So I get a lot of comments, hey, I would have done this, I would have won this, whenever they see my strategies roll out. And then I'm like, that's very easy to know when you're looking backwards. Like, you've seen it in play. When I was playing it out, I was in real time. I didn't know what the next roll was. And that's the problem. And that's kind of the breakdown of people's beliefs, is they feel like, hey, if I can track maybe some history, I may be able to better predict the future. And I'm not a believer in that. I really do believe what mathematicians and geniuses and all the facts have always led to say, which is every roll is an independent roll. It doesn't matter that the 6 or the 7 has rolled 4 times in a row.
Right.
Yes, the probability of it rolling again
1 out of 6
is still 1 out of 6. I mean, but if you started, it would be 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, whatever that number is. It's a big number, right? From before the first one rolled, the probability of rolling 5 in a row is a lot. But after 4 have rolled, the odds reset every single time. So I think it's very difficult to, predict where you're in the variance. Maybe some people are better at if you're tracking the middle, you're talking about things that are more likely or less likely, maybe, but the odds reset on the very next roll. So that's why I like to get my money get back early, and then it's hope. It really is for me. I'm like, I hope the roll continues. Some people are more believers in, hey, I'm following the hot number, right? If it's happening, it'll continue to happen. Or they do the opposite. If the number hasn't shown up, it's time to bet on that 4. It hasn't rolled in so long. It's time to bet on that 4 because it's due to happen. It's called like due number theory. There's a lot of ways people will approach it, but in my opinion, you can't know the variance. And that's the problem with this game.
Well, I think it's the perfect game. And that's actually going to be maybe our next episode or one after that. I've been working on an outline for that one.
Okay.
Why I think craps is the perfect game, and that's a little teaser for next time.
Yeah,
I did
love that.
see something where it said Jim is much quieter than Jeremy. And anybody who's been a fan of this show for any amount of time knows that is not the case. Jeremy is Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collective. And we did have that happen last week, I think.
I made a tiny little adjustment here. It's
let me know.
Yeah.
Let him know. Yeah. Tiny little adjustment. So, But anyway, so that's it on variance. We can make money if we change our bets after we recouped our money. And you're in variance. I think Ken threw it up there earlier. When he's making money, then he knows they were in a variance.
I mean, that's fair, but it could go the other way, right?
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say. The next thing is true or false? Is variance the crack in the casino's armor?
No, because they win on every single bet.
Okay.
So if it goes bad for the player, they're happy. If it goes good for the player, they're not necessarily happy. I guess when it goes good for the player, they're just playing the long game at that point. Mm-hmm. They know eventually it'll come back. They'll get theirs.
Pyramid will be there.
Yeah, the pyramid will be there in the end for them, and they have that advantage of time because they never close the doors, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's the variance. If you're, you should be. We always talk about the dreaded 0.7 out, where these rolls or the shooter last 2 rolls. They establish a point and then the 7 out. Well, if you're betting the numbers, the probability says you should hit some of these numbers. Mm-hmm. And so whenever you're not hitting the numbers and you immediately, all your bets get wiped out by an early 7, that's variance working against you. Yes, it shouldn't, it shouldn't work that way. But you can lose that way just as easily. So that's a variance where it's, bad for the player.
And it swings both ways, and we've all experienced it. Every person out there, I will go back to my last cruise that I was playing with you guys on. I was doing the 110 inside, and then I'd lay the 10.
Yeah.
And then how many times at that table that evening?
Well, I mean, we could talk about other things such as confirmation bias, a lot of things.
Yes.
I mean, it definitely, if we tracked it at least for that hour or two where you were getting smoked.
It was a variance in the casino's favor. Definitely.
The 10 was rolling more than it should have been.
It was a hot 10. A hot 10.
Now, I stuck with the strategy more than you did. You kind of...
I variated. Yes,
you variated. And
is that even a word? I variated?
Yeah. Well, it is now. So you variated and went a different direction. And I more or less kind of stuck to it. And it did come down. There was a long time where the 10 didn't show up as much. And I was able to kind of claw my way back because I was just hoping eventually that pyramid would kind of start forming back again, and it did. The 10s slowed down.
Yes. Okay.
But for that period of time, the 10s were out of alignment.
We were in a variant period.
Mm-hmm. And you had to be laying it. So if you knew that we were entering that, you would have done the opposite. You would have been betting heavily on the 10, not betting against the 10.
That's right.
So that's the trick, right? Is to recognize when you're in it and to, bet accordingly, I guess.
I think sometimes you need to recognize when it's over. That's more advantageous to me. If you were thinking about variance or whatever, is get out. That's when you drop me down to whatever, or cut off my bets, or whatever it is, whatever the secret sauce is, you've got to stop it. And that's hard to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's happened to every player. Maybe you've had this happen. Is you're in a great, and you feel kind of bad, but on the other hand, I don't. And some players will do it more than others, which is a regression. So, so this is how it happens. You're in it. We've had 20 some rolls.
Right. I've
won a good amount of money. My bets are big because I've been pressing, and I'm thinking in my head. This is where it's way out of whack here. Right. Yes. And so you say, well, two things happen. Usually you start thinking it's time. I should probably slow down, take down my bets or slow down.
Too late.
You don't do it, right?
Too late.
The 7 rolls and bam. Or you actually do it. And you're like, dealer, I always try to, dealer, can you take my bets down to table minimum or something like that. And then when the 7 rolls, everyone looks at you, you jerk, you kind of messed up the vibes or whatever, right? Not too much, but that does happen sometimes.
But
like,
does.
yeah, they're like, oh, either he knew something or whatever. And it's like, no, it's just, you get that feeling. I think that feeling is you're just recognizing, hey, the numbers are out of whack here. The 7 has been away for way too long. If it's supposed to happen every 6 rolls, and now we're on roll 30, can it keep going? Yes. It can keep going for another hour. Is it likely to keep rolling? No, it's likely to roll and happen in the next 6 rolls. So
you never know.
Yeah.
You never know on that one. So variance, you don't know when it starts. To me, you don't know when it starts or when it stops. And because when we just walk up to the table, we don't know what was rolled for, the last 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever was happening before we got there. We just start our computer and start looking and writing that time. So I don't know.
But does it help really, right? Yeah. Because
it doesn't.
You go to the electronic tables and they'll tell you. Right?
Oh, it's got to across the bottom. Yeah.
Especially the hard ways. That's a big one because it'll say, the hard 8 hasn't rolled in 230 rolls, right?
But wait a minute. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It should happen every 36 rolls, but no, it's now 238. Start betting it. It's got to happen, right? And then,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So, couple of things next that I had on the list was the title of number 4 was surviving variance. You could be planning your bets a certain way, or you come to the table with a certain strategy, and then here comes the variance, and the variance is swinging away from you. Yeah. What can you do to survive? And what's the big thing that, whether it's Casino Quest or John with ProCraps or soon to be no longer ProCraps or whatever it's going to be called, all those things, the biggest thing is bankroll. You've got to have enough bankroll to handle the swings and the variance. I mean, you talk about it in your videos. Hey,
I'm a big believer in it.
Yeah, 10 shooters. I mean, you say it almost every time. So
yeah, I think there's 2 ways that I've heard people approach it, and I approach it one way. I always talk about 10 shooters because the strategy may not go your way. And I'm a big believer in whatever you're playing, stick with it.
Right.
So, which is unfortunate if you start bad and your strategy is like, the dice are doing the exact opposite and I'm losing with this strategy. And so my thought is, hey, you've lost through the first 4 shooters, the first 6 shooters. If you have a bankroll for 10 shooters, hopefully the last few, the strategy will work for you. And so I say have a big enough bankroll to withstand this variance. Now, other people would say, hey, if your strategy is not working, you should recognize and change your strategy to something else.
Right.
And they also, the bankroll is kind of a separate issue there, but hey, have enough bankroll so you can change your strategy and try it again or whatever. But excuse me, that's never really worked out well for me. It feels like me, whenever I switch at the wrong time and now I'm losing with the new one. And then I have regrets of like, oh, if I would have stuck with the original strategy, I would be okay. So I just find like I end up start chasing by changing all the time. So I'm kind of more of a believer, hey, just stick with, try something, whatever it is, whatever your bankroll can withstand. I, for no particular reason, like to have 10 shooters is kind of a reasonable amount.
Okay.
What about you? I mean, where do you fall in that?
I don't know. When I hear people talk about bankroll and chasing strategies or not chasing strategies and to try to bring it back to variance, we're all every strategy is looking for a unique variance. The guys who want to parlay the hard ways, they're looking for a variance where the soft 8 or the soft 4 is going to become easy 4 is going to come before the 7 or whatever. If you're on the negative side, but you want your chance. But I think
the guys who bet the horn, right?
The horn bet. Yeah,
the horns are tough, right? Those are all
but it's
1 in 36 or 2 out of
36.
Yeah. And but by betting that, they're saying, hey, I need it to happen more than that, right?
Yes.
So exactly. More than 1 out of 36, more than 1 out of 18 for the yellow.
So we want specific variance, and that's what I'm thinking is and that's what another reason why I think it makes the game the perfect game, because there are so many. We've done shows on it, so many different bets out there, so many different bets, and we are looking because we don't have enough bankroll to cover all the bets. You can't iron cross and cover every horn number and cover every hard way. So we want a specific variance on a specific selection of numbers. And whether you're light side or dark side, or you want the 7, you want big red, or you don't want big red, or whatever it is, we want a little window. And it's like wishing as a gift list for Santa Claus. We want a specific thing. We want the Red Ryder BB gun.
Right.
With the compass.
Right. I'm betting
stock.
Inside. I need the inside numbers to roll.
Yes,
Forget the other numbers.
Yeah. I need 4 numbers.
Right.
Out of those. So that's why I'm thinking its variance is rather not too useful, because there's just, there's so much variety of variance, and B, what can you do? Is anybody got really enough bankroll to chase variance all over the place and make it happen? What do you think? Does anybody got that kind of bankroll? I mean, rich people.
I imagine there are guys who
really
have that.
Rich people who play. We've done a show with Mr. Z, right?
Yeah.
And he had all the numbers covered, and betting the pass line and odds and low house edge and everything. And guess what? Didn't work.
Yeah, and just the fact that there just isn't professional craps players should be very telling to you. Because there are plenty of, and I get this a lot from people. Hey, I've come up with the perfect strategy, or I've really practiced dice control. And I really can beat the chart, the normal distribution. I can outroll what should happen. And I say, cool. Find an investor. If you can prove that, and you can do that, it shouldn't be that hard. You get someone who'll help you bring $10 million to the casino. They'd love to make free, easy money.
Mm-hmm.
And and then of course I get some reasons why they can't do that, but the money is not the problem. It's going to be very difficult to out bankroll the casinos, but and that's why the martingale I've mentioned before. The martingale, world's perfect strategy, except for the rule they put in place where there's a table max. For any of those who don't know, it's essentially just doubling your bet every time you lose until you win, and then you'd win back all your money.
And you win 1 unit, right?
Right. So in a perfect, that would work perfectly if you had unlimited money, but they put a cap at some point. So whatever it is, at some point the sequence is you go beyond that sequence, you cannot win enough to recoup all your losses, and that's exactly where the casino does it. Because there are plenty of rich people out there that could. Maybe, you talk about what's unlikely to happen. If they can play a sequence of it's unlikely to happen, 100 times in a row, sure. But they put a cap on it, and they lower the probability much lower.
Okay. And then as far as the way to like ride the variance, other than bankroll, is there anything you can do that you can think of to?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of you can do is cut your bets off for a little while. Don't play or skip a shooter or two.
Well, anytime you're not betting, you're not losing, right? So talking about house edge or something. I mean, you don't have any risk. You don't have any chance for reward. But
go to the bathroom. Tell them give you a cloth or a cover, something to put on your.
Maybe, but again, that comes back. So I actually was having a conversation with someone who sent me the strategy, and they said it's very dependent on, right? You bet for I don't know what it is, a certain number of rolls. I think the conversation was about the 5 count.
Okay.
That I forget the name of the dice control group that does it, but. They talk about the 5 count. But anyway, they're like
the golden arm people?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So anyway, but they also did it in reverse. So not them, but kind of the strategy. Hey, bet for 5 rolls and then take your bets down and wait for the next shooter. right? Because after 5 rolls, you're not in that probability of this 7 happening on the 6th roll or the 8.5 average. You've won your money and you got out. Okay. But if you put your towel over or you walk away or you wait for the next shooter, as soon as you put your money back up on the table, the odds have reset. It's 1 in 6 chance that you're going to lose those bets with a 7.
Yes.
So that's why it's like these things of walking away, trying to skirt the variance, betting in a way that, hey, it shouldn't, as long as you're out of the way in 6 rolls. If you did it one time, okay. Like if you did it and never bet again, all right. It seems logical, and maybe you've won and you walked away and you never go back to the casino. Congratulations. But as soon as you put the money back on the table, you're right in it again. You're right in the thick of things with a 1 in 6 chance. It's not.
There's some different martingale techniques, and there's different flavors, and there's bridging, and I like I said, I listened to probably few dozen this week, and I can't remember all the names of the strategies, but John had one, or it was highlighting the different ways that you could bridge and do things. And so you lose the first time, then you bet 3 units the second time. You bet lose the second time, and then you bet 6 units, or it's just there are all these different ways, or half units and stuff. And to me, it was just, you might be able to get by until it doesn't work. And then some of these ones, he had like in the dozens and dozens of units. And I don't care if you're on a $5 table. Who's got dozens and dozens and dozens of units?
You mean when you're negatively progressing?
Yeah. And that was the thing. And then some of the people say positively progressing. And, there's different ways on that. And, again, that's why I think this is the perfect game, because you've got so many people out there trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's the fun of it, right? And we can all talk and argue about it. You play your way, I'll play my way. We'll see, and we can kind of compare that way. And, we all sound like geniuses in our own mind. I see some of the comments going on, and people obviously have strong thoughts on how they do it, which is, in their mind probably the right way. But again, I'm going to challenge any of them. Okay, which one of you is doing this professionally? And whatever. I mean, that's a different argument. But
But to me, it's just absolutely bonkers to think we can beat the game. And I love the game. And, do I play it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's great socially and all this stuff. But there's just, to me, the more we talk about this variant stuff and, making money, and I think it's just another way to just like psych ourselves up to go back to the table. We're going to try it this way this time. And we got a new way. We're going to do this. And I've seen martingale. One of my first trips to Vegas, I was exposed to a martingale in the what is the one with the pyramid, the Luxor, and we stayed there a couple of times. And to me, I was just astonished. He'd start off with $100, and then he'd go $100 in big stack, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And he lost. And one of the guys went on a hot streak, and we rolled like 4 or 5 points in a row. And then I see him putting all this money on the don't pass, and I'm freaking out. And then he got wiped out that night. And then the next night he came back, and he got some money because it was rather cold, or I don't know if he was up or down on the trip, but I know it scarred me to say, hey, I never want to play that way, because whether you win or it'd be great to win that much, but I couldn't afford to do that on the random there. But yeah, I think, and we can wrap this up and start. I'm going to start saying why it's you can't beat the chaos, and you can't. So I'm going to wrap up this part, and then I'm going to give 10 reasons why I don't think we can do it. But,
and then we can get to everyone's comments and questions.
Because the comments are flying by so
fast.
Love
it.
I can't even read them.
Right.
But anyway, variance can create short-term wins and some long-term losing games, depending on, again, how you bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it works both. It works in the casino's favor every time, no matter what the variance is, because they've got the big house edge.
They take a cut on every bet,
every bet, except for the odds there.
But you can't make that without making a bet that they take a cut out of,
yeah. But yeah, to me, are we going to be there to do this kind of stuff? No, I don't think so. But to me, I don't think anybody's going to beat the variance. And I got 10 logical ways that you can't. And the first one is variance doesn't favor players; it's neutral. And again, It goes back to how many different variants are there. And you are looking for your specific variance for your specific numbers. And it's a random deviation over a long period of rolls, and it's not a force that favors either side.
Because like you said, it being neutral is actually bad for the casino as well. Because if it rolled exactly according to that chart, we as players could take advantage of it. We could just, hey, I'm going to bet for 5 rolls and then pull on my money.
Yeah.
But the variant says that sometimes the 7's going to come earlier. So, yeah, it would be bad, right, for the casino as well if there wasn't variance. So they rely on it heavily.
Again, the variance doesn't favor the players every time. It always favors the house edge, which is 100% undefeated. Number 2, variance is a short-term illusion, not long-term advantage. Yeah, we think it's a variance for the last few rolls, but like you said, the next roll we have no idea and we have no control on what's coming up on the next one. So there's no advantage in even knowing it's there, right?
Yeah, I really don't. That's one I really don't understand the dice trackers. Yeah, I understand. Hey, the 6 hasn't showed up in so many rolls. It's got to happen, right? Because it's got to conform back. Or the other way, right? The 7's been happening too much. Mm-hmm. It's going to start staying away. That's just how it works. I guess it does make sense in the theoretical because but it might take 1 million rolls to get back to what it is.
But I don't think so. And
it does. It doesn't, right? I mean,
and somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody earlier said, hey, in 300 rolls, there might not be enough for 3,600 or whatever it was. 360 might be a little low. You could be out of the standard deviation for that period of time, but over thousands of rolls and the casino's open 24 hours, like you said. When do you know it's
right? I mean, maybe if you were maybe if you tracked and you had the bankroll to stay there, because you couldn't take any rolls off because you'd have to, because then you might miss some of the variants. But maybe if you stayed there for like a week and was able to have a bankroll for every roll for a week, maybe you would be able to see it. I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough. So the next one is the human brain sees patterns and randomness. Again, we're looking, we see, oh, the 8's hopping, or oh, this is happening, or oh, that's happening. And we're just what? It's just like when we look up in the clouds and you say, oh, look, there's a dog up there.
Yeah.
I see
you're recognizing patterns or
contrails or whatever it is, right? So I think we're projecting on that. And then selective memory reinforces false beliefs. I have a lot of people who say, hey, they're big winners or they're big, they never lose or whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't,
They black out of their minds the losing sessions. Yeah.
And that's true, and that's true for a lot of people. And then you ask anybody, how'd you do last night? Or, oh, I broke even.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, you broke even.
I'm about
after
broke even.
Tipping. Yeah, I listened to one of our podcasts. I was up there, and Greg's been listening and chiming in over there, and we were up in there, and I got up a little bit, and or maybe it was with my other friends. I can't remember. I got up a little bit, and then I kept playing because I won too quickly instead of walking away, and then end up after a while, after tipping and everything, it was $90. And I even said on one of the podcasts, hey, I broke even. I lost $90. How was that breaking even?
Yeah.
So we get a little bit of that. But the biggest thing, again, is every roll is independent. I know we had somebody asking about DI or what's DI, dice influence, or what is dice control and all that kind of stuff. But that's what it is. Every roll is independent. And there's no way you can read the table. There's no way you can logically do it. And again, that's why I think
such
it's
a sour puss.
But I know, but I love it. I love the game. But just don't feed me horse dung and tell me it's a unique flavor of horseradish or something, or steak or something. I don't know. But variance helps the casino more than the player. And now I just said earlier, variance, sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad, but it helps the casino because we look at that chart and say the hard 8 hasn't rolled in a while, and we start betting on it. And there's no guarantees that it is in this particular variation going to pop in. So the variance kind of gives us hope, or gives us the thought that we can do something to change it. I mean, what do you think about that one? When you're playing at that, the roll to win, or when it says how many times it's rolls?
I do not know why they do not have the monitors like they do for roulette and baccarat.
Yes.
I think they would. I mean,
increase
as
their
the
money
evil
big time,
casino empire, that's the first thing I would institute. Is I'd be like, get me an electronic monitor up there, so all these players would be
big
like,
screen, big
numbers are due,
Yeah.
numbers are overdue, and put more money on the table, because
Stadium
that's how I
craps,
win
that's
as a
right.
casino. Is anytime there's money on the table, I'm getting a piece of it. So my job is to get more money on the table. So I think just the nature of players, right? If they see these, I think I see a pattern, they'd get more money on the table. So I don't know why more tables don't do that, but I think it would increase the casino's
bottom line.
take, with their bottom line.
100% on
But-
that one. So, well, we're in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mathematical certainty trumps emotional certainty. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's hard to argue with the math, of course. But this is an emotional game. I mean, we talk about doing it for entertainment and fun. We're talking about emotions.
Right.
And we can live with, I think in like a self-deprecating way, that's not the right word for it, but in a way we kind of like the losing part of it too, because then our winning is even more exciting. It's just that's the thrill of gambling. And so emotion is a big part of this game.
Yeah.
But the math is ever there,
Yeah.
ever consistent.
All right. And I don't know if I hit this one already, but variance doesn't favor the players. It's neutral. Over time, it's absolutely neutral. Because to get to that variance, and that's the other thing too, can we really expect when we roll up, we've flown halfway across the country, we've driven to the cruise port, we got on the ship, waited for the casino to open up, and then we expect not to be perfect, but we expect a variance in our favor.
We expect the 6 and 8s to be hot.
Yes. Oh yeah. Why is that? It's just crazy.
I mean, some of us understand. We're just hoping that the 6 and 8 and hot, and some are like, well, you know what? I'm going to scope out the tables for a little bit, for an hour maybe.
Get the
data,
data,
and then get the data, and then I'll
look
know.
at it. Write it down. Look at it.
I mean, I don't fault anyone. By the way, I don't fault anyone for doing that kind of stuff, because I'm not. Okay, I am saying you're wrong by doing that, but I'm saying if that's the way you enjoy the game, have at it. I mean, if you want to try to figure it out and try to calculate and say, hey, predict the future based on the past, and you enjoy that, have fun with that. I have no problems, no issues. It doesn't affect me in any way. So have a blast with that. And I also wish you that. I hope that it works for you, and I wish you good luck.
And I'm the same way. It says Jim the Professor, but on the thumbnail it said the Believer, and I believe in randomness and luck, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if you think it's because you wrote it down, or if you think it's because you're throwing the dice a certain way, whatever it is, I'm pulling for you, because I'm guarantee you 9 times out of 10 I'm got my money out there pulling for you.
Yeah, as a light side better, right?
As a light side, even if you're the dark side guy, which I've never seen the dark siders really go after the 7, the dice influencers and all. They can avoid 6 of the 36 combinations. Apparently is what they're trying to do, but to me, you should go for those 6 out of 36 and try to
Another podcast, Jim. Another podcast.
I know. All right. And then the human brain sees we talked about it a little bit. Again, you can't beat the chaos. Human brain sees patterns and randomness. I mean, we look at things and we say it's this way or it's that way. It's never going to happen. And then the last one I had was selective memory reinforces false belief. And we all, I don't care if you're, unless you are Uber tracker, if you have Uber discipline, then no, you're not. You just, we have selective memory.
Yeah, and I think we do this on purpose because we don't really want to know. As soon as someone approaches me, hey, I'm a great shooter. I win all the time. I always say, do you have your notebook? Do you have your sessions written down of your wins and losses? And no one does it because we don't want to know.
You want to hear it?
We want to remember the good ones.
Yes. So here's my way to do it. So next cruise we have, whether it's you and Brian, whoever, or next time we get together in Vegas or whatever it is, you know how everybody's got like a dice tracker thing, a book or whatever, like Brian's got his or whatever. What we'll do is we'll exchange books. And just like in the game of golf, right, the other guy keeps your score, and then you go on into the tent and sign. We should do that as craps players.
Keep each other honest, accountability partners.
Accountability partners, whether it be like a AA session or Gambling Anonymous or whatever. Yeah. But I think we would find even the best of us who says they win. I play soccer. I'm in an over 50 league. I'm 58. I know what you're thinking. Golly dag, Jim, the lighting doesn't make you look 58. Yeah, maybe 48. But I'm here. I'm 58. But what I was going to say is, no matter what the sport is, when we're playing soccer, I tell everybody, you're not as good. You could be the best player in the league or you could be the worst player in the league. Nobody's as good as they think they are. Nobody's. And I think it's the same thing with craps. I really do.
Yeah, some of in the comments are mentioning win-loss statements. That's a really easy look at it. But I mean, I have seen. So we talk about craps, which is an amazing game in the casino. You can win. I'm not saying you can't be. My brother is a slot player. That is a terrible game as a gambler because the house edge is so high. Yet I've seen multiple years where he has had a positive win-loss statement.
On his casino card?
Yeah, on the bank statement. Okay. So it can happen. I'm just saying, if he plays for 20 years, he probably even out a little bit worse than it should, right? It's going to hurt a little bit.
Yes.
And the same thing in craps or whatever. You can win. You can win when you go to this weekend. You can win all year. If you go 5 times. You can win for the year. You might be able to track and win for the year or a decade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you only went twice a year or something like that. The math is going to get you, though. If you go 5 times a week for a whole year, I guarantee. I wish I had some money to make the color up challenge where 5 days a week for I don't know how many times. I get 52 ranks. If you can do, and still show a profit, you win the $1 million color up challenge prize or something like that. But the more you play, the more the normal distribution has happened and the house edge is going to get you. Yes. Because unfortunately you have to overcome the chart. We have to roll more or bet on numbers that roll more than probability to win. Otherwise, if it just sticks to that, we're going to lose because of the house edge. We can't overcome it. There's no bets that overcome it. We can get an odds bet that, plays even, but that does not have a positive expected value.
It doesn't have positive expected value, and it also doesn't change the probabilities. The 7 is still 1 out of every 6 rolls. And a lot of people who are newer to the game, they get confused between house edge and probabilities.
Right.
And they don't understand the difference in them.
Right.
Yep. So anyway, that's all the soap I had, as we say. But,
Well, I mean, we're right on an hour, so
it worked out pretty good.
yeah, it worked out pretty good.
So now we're going to go back to the monster roll, and we definitely want to hear what the listeners have or their best variant stories. So maybe you can get the phone out. I don't know if you got your phone with you or not.
I do, but I'm not. We're not going to do a super long session tonight.
Okay.
So
all right. So no worries on that. So any final thoughts on variants before we go to the monster roll?
No, I think it's, I'll be interesting what people will say about it, and we'll get into that. But yeah, like you, I think it's what makes the game perfect.
Oh, it's a perfect game.
Because
that's got to be the episode title. One coming up.
How boring would it be if there wasn't the variance, right? We would know what to do. The casino would know what to do, and it would just be a losing proposition.
We wouldn't play at all.
Yeah, we wouldn't play. Yeah, I mean,
if we didn't have the variance.
That is a comment that I get a lot of time. Well, why do you even play? Right, this is a losing game. They're kind of snarky, whatever. Well, we play because, for one, it's fun and entertainment, but you absolutely can win.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're going to make a career out of this. I'm just saying you can win because variance does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's what makes the game beautiful and perfect.
All right.
Yeah, so my because of you'd be better off doing all the comments or whatever, bringing them up if you can. Or
all right, so I'll head up to the top. So thanks again, everybody.
Or just scroll around or the bottom quickly.
Yeah.
Or
you can hit the bottom, or you want me to go?
Well, some of I can. Jeremy's not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. What is that?
What are you touching?
I don't know.
Let's see. It's the theory of probability, not the law of probability. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I would touch that. It's. Well, I mean, everything's the theory, right? It's called the. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's the variance explain the fact that there is variance explains that it's a theory, right? I don't know why you couldn't.
Oh, here's what I think he was saying. What you're not going to touch. Why doesn't color up make a what?
Crapsy challenge?
Yeah.
I don't use Crapsy, so I don't know what a Crapsy challenge would look like.
Okay. So,
but I mean, if I got a sponsor that gave me $10,000 to sponsor like a thing that would either like prove dice control real or prove dice tracking or one of these things that I'm not a big believer, I'd love to kind of fund a competition to prove me wrong. I'd love that. Theory of probability versus law of probability. It should look like the pyramid, but we know it doesn't, and that's where we can play. That's where we can play in the gray area.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the top, I think.
I'll try to do some of these.
I'm going to go at the top.
My setup is where my screen is reversed and backwards, so everything, my mouse works. I don't know. It's kind of a funny setup.
So Ken was saying hi. MJ from the cruise was saying hi. Let's see. You should try to. Here's one on your last video. You said you should have tried to have a don't pass to cover up. I think your last video was the snowball or the snowflake or whatever it was.
Oh, it was just like a light side progression.
And it got wiped out.
You certainly could. I mean, anytime you add a don't pass to the light side, now you're hedging. It could cover those short rolls. So a lot of people like to play that way. Mm-hmm. You're minimizing your wins, but you're also mitigating your potential losses too. So it depends how the variance works out, right? If that's the best way to play it or not.
Go back to the variance.
Of course, when we look back and see how that strategy rolled out, you would have said you would have been better off. Yes, you would have
with the don't pass.
But I certainly have a lot of strategies that are bet both ways for a little bit.
Hey, and I just want to say thanks to Duracell. He's always chiming in one way or the other.
He
supports everybody. I see him in every chat community. So thanks again, Duracell, on that. You already mentioned Blue Jay was saying hey earlier, and you already mentioned Patty. Let's see. This is a good one. I'm no longer going to call it DI. I'm going to call it variance control. I love it. I love it. We got a VC.
It would confuse the people who always talk about dice control versus dice influence. But
Duracell can sell it. He can sell it. He can be now, I'm not talking about dice control. I'm not talking about dice influence.
This is different. This is variance control. Controlling the variance. Yeah.
Love it. Let's see. Let's see.
What is the best platform to watch this podcast?
I love Apple Podcasts, but I'm an Apple guy.
Well, to watch, you can only watch it on YouTube.
You mean watch? Yeah.
If you listen to it, it's almost on all the platforms, so you can listen wherever. But to watch it, you can only see it on YouTube. And so it is live, but it's also archived. It's kind of hard to find sometimes.
You have to type in.
But if you go to my
Sports Grid.
page, if you go to my page on YouTube, there's always a tab, like video tab and then live tab. If you click on the live, all the podcasts are archived there to watch. But
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Very good.
if you're looking for it on a podcast platform, Sports Grid Color Up, you'll find it on your favorite podcast app.
Let's see. And then Proto Man was saying variance in a negative EV game. Yeah, we need a little of it. You know, that's what we need.
Yeah, if there was no variance and it was negative,
Yeah.
like you said, just don't bother playing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Now, this is one of the good things. The quicker you get off the table, the better. The longer you stay at the table, the more the casino wins, and that's 100%. You know, you can play and get up, and even get up significantly. But if you keep playing, you're going to see it shrinking. Your rack's going to get a lot smaller on that. Yeah. So
I always
let's
talk
see
about
what else
increasing your win limit, right? I don't like the idea of, hey, once I reach $100, I'm leaving. You know, I just made up that figure, or $500, I'm leaving, because you might still be in a pocket of variance where you can continue to win. Why would you walk away at 500 when you could have won 1,000? So, like, sure, 500, maybe you set it at 400, and if you give back 100, you walk away, but you're still up 400. Or then you raise it to 700, and once you're up to 900, maybe you can give a little bit back, but just see if you can keep that upward
Pushing
projection.
upward. Yeah.
Because you're never gonna, it's like kind of like the stock market. It's gonna take little dips here and
up
there,
down.
but as long as you're, on an incline, I don't know why as long as you have the time and whatever, stay. I mean, it's about fun. I just don't like the idea of, hey, I'm gonna win my $100 and bounce. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, some people,
but
that's what John calls a daily paycheck. You just go to the casino and make a quick 100, hopefully, or lose a quick 100, or whatever the case may be. But this is another one. Rocky said, hey, I had a discussion with AI about this.
when you're discussing with AI, yeah.
Yeah. So you get 80 rolls an hour and play for 3 to 5 hours. You're on a sample. Gameplay affected by positive or negative variance. You can't control the whole game. Yeah, you can't. Who knows what it is? We definitely can't control it. And again, that's why this is the perfect game. And all. Dice Grinders said, hey, earlier. So, hey to Dice Grinders on that one. And, this is a good one. And you have a little relationship with these guys, right? Dicer is a good way to visualize the variance. And at the end of your videos, you do a nice job of showing the standard and the Molly and the Dolly and then the Hedgehog.
And then the strategy of the day, right?
Yeah. It's a nice way to
I
visualize.
I almost always run it at 10 shooters, right? And I'll be darned. It'll lose a couple times. It'll win a couple times. It'll break even a couple,
And then sometimes all of them will lose.
Yeah,
That's what makes it the perfect game.
Yeah, there is some situation. It is very rare because the 3-point Molly and the 3-point Dolly are they're opposite.
Yes.
But there have been specific
Sweet
rolls.
spots. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where
Sweet
they'll
spots.
both win or they'll both lose. It's kind of fascinating when I see that, but it can happen.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right, let's see. And again, Ken's great point was
Shout out Naomi.
he knows.
doing?
Oh, Miss Naomi jumped in there.
I guess so. I just saw her
I
pop
missed
up, saying-
Naomi.
saying
Hey,
hi.
Naomi. Sorry, I missed everything. She make it out for the wedding?
She did not.
Okay. All right. Can't be everywhere. Let's see. Let me see what else we got. I'm scrolling through quickly. Again, this is a good point here. Just like in roulette, the black will hit because the red was the last 8 times. That Monte Carlo effect, right?
Yeah, simple. It's simple math, right?
Yes.
Get your $1 million out because it's gonna hit now, right? Because the other number hit 8 times, and I mean, I'm not gambling my house on it.
Now, This one has actually happened to me. I've been at the table where the 7 has come 5 times in a row on the come out. And according to Duracell's math here, it was I should have been betting the dark side. Actually,
well, if it's a come out roll and you're passing, you're fine. You should have been parlaying your 7, right?
The first time I tried, at the time it happened, what I was thinking about was I should have been on the light side because I tried Brian's light and darkness on that one.
Oh, yeah.
And I was getting wiped out. All you need to do is just avoid the 7 on the come out roll.
Right.
You try it.
I know. I can't remember. I mean, obviously, I've rolled hundreds and hundreds of videos, and I don't know if I've seen in one of my videos I've seen 5, but I know I've certainly seen 4 come out 7s.
Oh, I got the quote of the year of the show.
Okay.
Nothing is due. The only thing is due is a baby at 9 months. I think that's a great quote. Thank you, Dennis. That was it. Yeah.
Taxes are due.
Yeah.
Death is due.
Death is due.
We get your point, though. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Let's see. Victor says, what did Victor say? Says you can create variance by using DI when your line bets provide an overall edge. Use the random otherwise. That's dice code. So I don't even know what that means, dice code. So interesting.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that believe dice influence / control. That is a way to control the variance of the game.
Mm-hmm. Then Duracell and Greg and Dennis got into a little discussion. I'm gonna skip through that one. You guys can read the comments on that one. Here's one here. Odds are working. It says we stop trying to be on every number.
Yeah, I think he's a big proponent. I think if I remember the conversation, he's in my comments. I think he's a big proponent of making one bet and putting a bunch of odds.
Okay. And then Linda, she had a lot of comments on here, Linda Foxwood, and she had this one here. I watch for the numbers. I see a round of 7 combos. I do a 1/4, a quarter martingale on the 5, exact 7 rolls. That gives me 10 bets on the 7 with a winner 5 times. So she's got a little system there.
A little system.
A little apparently has a system there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't believe that's a she, though.
Oh,
I think he uses his wife's account, if I can remember. Do I have that correctly?
Well, he was one of the early ones when we first started doing the podcast.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Yeah, here we go. Craps is a perfect game. You bet on other people to win your money. You cannot do that in blackjack. Yeah, you get your cards and they get their cards, but everybody shares the outcome of the dice, which is kind of neat. And we share equally, good or bad. You know? That's pretty cool about it. That's another reason why Craps is a perfect game.
The roll to win tables, if they are still around, sometimes have roll trackers. They're still around. I saw actually someone on Facebook posted. I mean, nowadays it's tough because anyone can digitally alter anything. But I've in the past week I've seen a 63 roll, and then someone hit 100 on the roll to win.
Really?
Table. Yeah.
Oh wow.
100 rolls. That would be awesome.
I would love to have been on the ATS on that one.
You would imagine they probably hit it at least once.
I would hope. You would think out of 100 rolls. Yeah. Again, here's another little comment. The only way to bet craps is a low house. Only way to win or bet craps is a low house edge and get a good host to agree to give you a sizable rebate. You know. So.
Yeah, I argue with him online all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to lose the least amount of money, right, is low house edge over time. I'm not a big believer that the house edge is going to affect you too much in the next hour because high house edge would be betting the outside numbers, for instance, right? That's high house edge compared to you should be on the don't pass with maximum lay odds. And if the 7's not coming and those numbers are rolling, that guy's the genius, and he's winning. But yeah, if you're going to play a long time consistently, for the rest of your life, hey, I'm going to be playing for the next 40 years. stick to the lower house edge bets. You're going to be better off. And there are some people who play big enough that is a real thing. You can get a lost rebate from the casinos. So those are usually very high rollers and can negotiate that sort of thing where, so if you're betting and have, if you're doing max, if you're at go to 100 times table and can get the house edge down to 0.02%, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And between, some positive comps, food, dining, drinks, stay, limo service, flights, and they kind of give you a loss rebate,
then you're okay.
Yeah, I think you can consider yourself. Yeah, you could say, "Hey, I'm a positive player." So, I mean, there is definitely not wrong in that statement, but there's,
So Greg was saying about Golden Touch was the one that teaches the 5 count with Dom, and then he was saying that I think a little bit later he said that
the old the 5 famous count, dominator.
Yeah, that you. The 5 count does not qualify the shooter. It just simply keeps you out of the shortest rolls. So you understand?
Yeah, I've heard.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you could avoid the short rolls, if it gets past 5, it's at least 5, right? But then the other people on the other side is, well, now you've wasted 5 rolls, and now you're that much closer to the 7.
And it doesn't.
And if
doesn't limit you from the 6 rolls, or the 7 rolls, or the 8 rolls.
If the rolls weren't independent, that would be, the case. It would be cool. You survive the 5, and chances are. But I mean, that's kind of like my thought with not betting on the come out roll. I say, well, the 7 has to roll. It's got to roll when the puck is off. So it's kind of a similar thing. Hey, if you wait 5 rolls, the roll's got to be at least 6 rolls, right? So maybe you've caught the hot shooter. You've eliminated all the shooters who are, 3, 4 rolls, and maybe you're catching on to the beginning of a hot shooter. So that's kind of the thought behind that.
And then Duracell, I don't know what this comment was for, but he said, when you play why play for the social aspect of money when you're there to win money? There are times when I play socially, and I think you've played socially sometimes too, right?
Well, I mean, when you say you're playing for money, I'm never trying to lose. I'm always trying to win money.
Yeah, right.
But I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be nice to people. I'm going to make it a social aspect. Again, I'd love for someone to come out and show me that they play for the money and achieve that goal. Because we all play for the money.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I don't know if you mean take it more serious than others or not. But.
And then this is stop the nonsense. Those scammers are not real. Yeah, I think he was talking to us about some of those other ones there. Let's see. And again, Linda, whose real name I can't think of, says, I track all the players at the table. I usually pass my turn to track the other shooters for my first hour. Wow.
Dedication.
Yeah. I mean, there must be something you're getting from that. Yeah. This is funny. One time in Reno, I tracked a shooter. He would roll 3 times and 7 out. I called him in my notes the golf shirt guy. That to me just cracks me up.
When I play, it cracks me up. Well, usually I'm cruises because you see the same people, and it's like someone will approach the table and they go, "There she is," right? Or there's the golf shirt guy. He had such great rolls yesterday, and then
nothing
happens?
Yeah, nothing happens.
Or something worse than nothing happens, right? The old 0.7 out or something. So
Badger said hello.
I don't know what happened. It seemed foolproof. He always rolled 3 and then the 7. So.
Yeah, Badger Jim jumped in late, it looked like. And let's see. Anybody else? I'm heading toward the bottom now. We already talked about the platform.
Did you skip controversial comments, or there just wasn't that many?
No, I didn't. I don't think I skipped any.
That's fine.
There was a little bit of talk on Greg and Duracell, and somebody else was jumping in. I skipped.
Someone asked what the phone number was. I'm just not taking calls.
Tonight.
I'm not gonna stay that long. So.
But if we did have it, I know what the phone number is. You want me to give it to him for next time?
I'll try to. I'll throw it up here. You could actually text it. I will see it, and you could leave a voicemail too. So
And it's on all the time?
Yeah. It doesn't
Wow.
ring. It doesn't ring.
Just you have to look at it to think about it.
Yeah. But, for next show or something, if I thought it was a great comment or you left a great voicemail, you could certainly do that. So,
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about some of the guys. We're talking about being winners and winning more often than you lose.
so what did they say about that? Is there a trick? Is there a key?
well,
Is there?
I think it was Duracell who was saying that he was doing pretty good at it, and then
Okay.
some people went after him a little bit.
Yeah, people tend to do that for the,
yeah. Yeah, they went after
It's a tough claim to back up when you say, "Hey, I win more than I lose."
Well, he had somebody jumped in to defend his honor. I think it was the Blue Jay guy.
Okay.
Said he's played with him, and when he's played with him, he's won more than he's lost. So that's good. Stanley jumping in late, saying, "How was the wedding?" You want
Wedding was fun.
Mm-hmm. That's all you got to say. Well, anyway, if you go back and listen to the beginning of the podcast,
There's some really
you'll
cool
see-
pictures that came out of it because it's Vegas. and-
Vegas.
I don't.
Yeah,
I think my personal account on Facebook is public. I think you can click and see some pictures from the wedding if you really cared.
Mhm.
But
I did see some on Facebook.
Yeah,
You were tagged in it. I don't think it was on an account of yours, but somebody
Yeah.
tagged you.
I don't know how that works.
I think
But
it
anyway,
must have been your daughter. So
yeah,
they
I'm
tagged
sure.
you. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. So they were good pictures on it. And then here is one of our friends here. Rocky says DI is nothing like you think it is. I guess they were talking earlier about DI. Is variance is the way to go, and he's like, it's nothing what you think it is. What you speak of is dice control, which is a total lie. Nobody can control the bones. Influence is making 2 or 3 numbers show up more than they should.
I'm
So,
not confusing anything, Rocky.
Yeah.
People like to try and differentiate and say, whoa, calling your number is too extreme.
Mm-hmm.
What I could do is out of 36 rolls, I can only have 5 sevens and I have an extra, 6 or 8. But if you could do that consistently, again, now you've created your own pyramid. If you can make a pyramid, if you can influence the dice, you could beat the casino consistency. You should find a financial backer and you should crush them because you can beat variance. If you're telling me you can influence, I'm getting a little upset now. Not upset,
Yeah,
but
you're not upset. No, I think
So,
Rocky's
Boxy,
on your
if-
side. Yeah.
maybe I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to get. Yeah, a lot of people say, "Well, I'm just influencing it. I'm just trying to cause a little extra 7." If you could influence it a little bit, this is a game of fractions. Like
You talking house edge of 1.41
yeah.
sounds easy.
Yeah. You could, if you could influence a little bit consistently, you could beat this game on a consistent level, and you should bet big and find a backer and beat the casino, and they would kick you out, or they would change the rules of the game, or they'd shut down the game if people could do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, give it if you could. It certainly seems like some people can influence because, you watch them roll, or hey, they have a couple good rolls. Again, the proof's in the book. How's your win-loss for the last 10 years? Love to see it. Sorry, I got a little cough here too. A little
I hear
tickle.
it. Yeah. Well, it's probably all that partying. From
DI is not about 36 rolls. Yeah, it's about 10,000 rolls. Again, you get closer to 10,000, you're going to be worse off. Then you got a better shot in the 36 roll period of having no 7s or 1 7 or whatever.
short term.
The longer you roll, the more trouble you're going to get into. I mean, we've had the professors on with the machines can't even do it.
Yeah.
So you
that's
playing
another thing that
playing
makes
high school baseball and was a great pitcher.
But
or
that's
bowler,
another thing that makes
or
this
golfer.
the perfect game, Jeremy. And-
Yeah.
and we could talk about it. It's because we've got people who are dialed in and can make it happen. But again, I'm not rooting against them. I'm rooting for everybody, whether you're a dice controller, dice influence, or whatever. Rooting for everybody. But just don't send me an email asking me to sign up for the $1,500 course or the $500 course or the whatever one it is. So yeah, it's good. Duracell. People can believe in it. That's fine. People cannot believe in it. Like I said, just don't ask me.
Yeah, you could believe in it.
Yeah,
you could try, practice it. Just all the facts are, all the evidence is against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only have your personal
betting,
antidotes.
Yeah. And he's talking about betting, so it's a lot
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. So a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, so maybe next week we can, or whenever we do the next show, we can talk about the perfect game and why it's the perfect game or something. I'll work on it. And we don't have to do that next week. We could do another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can roll with that. But any other closing comments? Because I know you said we need to get off here in a little bit.
No.
No closing comments.
Yeah, it does always bring up the dice influence thing, just because like you call it dice influence, I call it variance.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
can call it different things. The fact, because the dice don't always show up, like our cute little pyramid. And whether you think you're changing that pyramid, or I think it's just the random nature of things are changing the pyramid. Yes, the pyramid does not look like that after 36 rolls.
To me, it's always
I
like,
totally agree with you.
yeah. To me, it's always like it's like in the movie The Matrix. You remember when he's in the room there and he's like, the red pill or the blue pill? He's in the office at the beginning and he's ducking down and running away and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where not trying to piss people off. Or whatever.
I don't want to.
We're not doing that.
I was a little heavier tonight than I normally am. Normally, I'm kind of like the wishy-washy guy, we love it all, and
Doesn't hurt, right?
I can't prove you wrong. It's one of those things I can't. You say you can influence, I can't prove you wrong. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if they can prove
you right. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Either,
It's like religion, right? Some people believe, some people don't. Some people say they have evidence. Some people say there is no evidence. Like, okay, well, whatever you do, that's your thing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Well,
do you have any?
Closing thoughts?
I like the topic. Yeah.
No. I thought it was a good topic. I think there's a lot of.
How many club members
opinions on
arrested in Nevada? I'm not sure what that means.
Maybe it's one of those. Who was that, Doug?
I don't. Yeah, follow up with your question.
Yeah,
I don't know how many. I don't know how many club members I have from Nevada. A few.
Do you try to? We talked about that. You say stick with one, don't change.
I like to stick to one.
Yeah.
Just because it just feels so much worse when I switch.
Mm-hmm.
How many club members are in Nevada? Oh, I don't have the numbers. I've been there. I found this website. I want to make like a heat map to show where people are all.
Oh, that would be cool. And
yeah,
then maybe
all
you could
over.
share that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be giving exact addresses or anything, but I would say, hey, look, there are certain people in your area, so get on the club community and try to connect with them. I can't give out anyone's address or anything, but you would see, it looks like there's a bunch of people in Las Vegas, or there's a bunch of people in the Charlotte area, or we have a new member I was talking to the other day. He's from the Atlanta area, and he's like, are there any club members in Atlanta? I'm like, probably not that many, just because there's no casinos, but I think there are a couple of Georgia folks.
I've run into a few that run them from the Atlanta area at Cherokee. That's where they go.
Yeah, they go up,
close.
and I know now. Florida's somewhat new to the gambling scene, so some people are going down to Florida a little bit. But yeah, obviously there are gamblers there.
Yeah, he said how many Duracell. They were saying how many members are from instead of arrested, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Proximity. Duracell said something about proximity and alert notification with permissions.
Yeah, that's advanced.
That's like CIA stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it would be cool. Like if you click on someone's name in the club community,
you're in the Walmart. There's a color up guy 4 aisles over.
I'm certainly not that advanced, and I don't have anyone that
kind of skills.
Yeah, I don't have anyone that I could ask to do that I know of. But I love the idea. That was super cool. Love that. That would be cool.
Well, Patty's in there. And Black.
We should all have
Black
like
River.
beepers too. Like when you go to a casino, like dee 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 dee. So someone in this casino is also, a club member that you want to play with or something.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Patty, I wish you well out there in Vegas, and I hope you guys are having a blast. And
Color up bear tag.
yeah, make sure you respond to his DM, Jeremy.
Yeah, if he
I'd love
sent
to
it,
see a picture
he hasn't
of you
sent me
guys.
anything yet. So
All right, Patty, you're still in the game.
it's in
here.
your court. You gotta let me
Yeah,
know
'cause
where you're gonna be at.
It's not too late out there. What time is it now? Where you guys are?
It's 6:30.
6:30,
so-
man. You just people waking up. You haven't even had dinner yet.
Yeah, I gotta go to
going.
dinner. That's why I gotta shut this down. But yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow I gotta. If you're there around,
Yeah,
I'm
sounds
just
like there's a few.
20 minutes from the strip. So
Yeah, make it happen. All
although
right,
I don't
Jeremy.
I prefer not. I don't want to play on the strip. I mean,
You don't want to play on the strip. Okay.
yeah, I'll play. I'll
Now, some of them are now what? I've been watching the videos.
They're
Minimums
coming
are
down, Jim. They're
baby.
coming down.
And let me
How
tell
did
you-
I predict the future?
Hey, you predicted the future. I was saying Vegas is crashing.
No, they're not though. Okay. There's more and more evidence that is absolutely not the case at all.
All right. Okay, that's another.
But the
episode.
table limits and marketing are coming down.
All right. So perfect game, and then we're going to talk about is Vegas really crashing or it's not really crashing again. So we'll see.
Boy, it's pretty wild when you go through the place at on a Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. The amount of people,
It's lonely.
that's just anecdotal
Anecdotal,
evidence.
yeah.
But some of the airport numbers are here or there.
Oh no,
It's just
Patty's still in the UK. He's not there till 6:30 tomorrow.
tomorrow evening.
All right. So yeah.
Well, hopefully you're staying for a certain period of time. I think I'm going camping or something earlier next week for a couple days in
you
Utah.
Make it
but-
happen, right? You can make that.
yeah, but I'd love. Yeah, I don't know tomorrow night or Monday or
We'll see.
yeah. Definitely reach out to me.
All right. But very good. All right, everybody. Well, I think Jeremy's hungry, and he's got to go get something to eat.
Yeah, I'm getting
there.
hangry.
hangry. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's why you were so mean to the dice.
I know, I'm so mean.
Just teasing.
All right,
You weren't mean.
adios,
All right.
guys. I appreciate you listening.
Au revoir. Bye.